Hello! Well, today I'm gonna talk about my first MS flare-up or episode, however you want to call it. Why am I doing this? Well, I guess I hope it might help me to digest this better because I'm still struggling with it. So, like, to pass this in review in hopes that it's gonna be easier for me to handle it. And I don't know, maybe it actually helps others to hear the story. We'll see. So, let's just like reintroduce myself. Hello, my name is Lilith. I'm 25, and it all started on the 27th of June. And I remember this precisely because it actually was the 19th birthday of my grandma. When everything started. And we're talking about this year, so it's not even been 3 months yet. Anyways, so it was the 27th of June of this year, and as I said, it was the 19th birthday of my grandma, so my whole family, planned to go visit my grandma in the afternoon. And I overslept because I didn't wake up at all. Like my family actually had to call me because I didn't show up and wanted to drive there all together, and like they literally woke me up with that call at 2 p.m. And that was actually the only thing that kind of like woke me up so I could actually get out of bed, was this shock of having overslept this much. Because like I walked into the bathroom like super fast and I was super stressed and already noticed that something is super wrong because I'm so tired and I can barely move my legs. And then I thought I was just like this tired and so physically exhausted because I simply woke up too abruptly, too fast, and then went by with everything too fast because literally I got dressed and stuff in 10 minutes and ran to my parents' house. And I just thought like, okay, just give it a few hours and then I will be all fit and awake, actually awake again. But this didn't happen. And then at my grandma's house, I was still like super tired and I could like barely sit straight because I was that physically exhausted. And my great uncle sat on my left, and I noticed that I wasn't able to look at him. I can't even like really explain it. Even in that moment it felt kind of strange because I wasn't physically able to look at him. Like I had to move my head like all the way to the left to be able to see him. So following the conversation just with my eyes wasn't possible, at least not in my left hemisphere. And it was already kind of strange, and then I was just like, okay, I don't know, I have to go out and smoke a cigarette. And I was just like sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired and something is wrong with my eyes. Like I was just like, I'm so tired, I can't even see straight, or at least not left. And I was still thinking like, oh my gosh, what happened last night that made me this tired? I mean, I had a horrible nightmare. I remember, like seriously, I remember having like one of the worst nightmares ever that night before that day. And I was also working that weekend, early shifts, and I never go to bed early just because I have to wake up early. So then I just thought like, oh my god, like I'm too old for only sleeping 3 hours a night. I have to step up my sleeping game. And I don't know, like the day passed and I went to bed kind of early that night. But the next day was even worse. So the next day, which was a Tuesday, I hang out with a friend that I haven't seen in a long while, so I didn't want to cancel it, even though I was feeling really, really horrible, because like this physical exhaustion got even worse. Like it was so hard for me to just walk because I was so tired, and like my legs kind of hurt from feeling this tired and heavy. And I also started to feel really, really dizzy and just lightheaded, and my eyes got worse. So this looking to the left was impossible by then. And well, it wasn't exactly impossible, but whenever I looked to the left with my eyes, I couldn't see anything there. And then I started actually getting sick to my stomach from it, so I fastly looked straight forward again. But on this Tuesday, also that started to be problematic. Also my vision was more blurry than it usually already is, which was like the most interesting that day was that I actually saw movement, like in an endless loop from left to right movement, like the trees, everything around me was just like moving like this. And that was actually the point where I started to realize, I think I'm not just super tired, actually. This is something else. But my friend at that point was just saying like, oh no, I've experienced that as well, and you're just tired, you just need to sleep well. So I was like, okay, I'm sure you're right, I'm sure you're not, but I don't want me to be right this time, so I'm just gonna listen to you. And also my parents are also just like, stop overreacting, it's nothing. Then Wednesday came and I wasn't feeling better. I actually started saying there that I'm kind of feeling hangover, actually. I feel like I was drinking the whole weekend and now it's Sunday morning and I just want to throw up and I'm so lightheaded and I'm dizzy and I just feel horrible. Plus, my vision was fucked. But that actually was like the feeling I had, plus the eye thing. And as I said, I wasn't feeling better at all. I still had troubles just walking, and I actually just wanted to sleep all day. And the problem was there was no reason for it, no real reason for it. I mean, as I said, my weekend was with little to none sleep, but by now it was Wednesday and I wasn't feeling better, and as I said, my eyes were kind of weird, and I already at that point on Tuesday actually realized something is seriously wrong with my head. This isn't normal. And yes, so on Thursday, still no real improvement, I went to my primary care physician. And this dude, honestly, medically gaslighted me. Because he looked at me and said like, you also look pretty depressed, aren't you? And I was like, of course I'm depressed, I'm always depressed. And now I feel super bad and I can't see. And damn it, I'm a photo artist. My eyes are like the most important part of my whole body. So that was kind of depressing, of course. And well, then he advised me to maybe go for a walk in beautiful nature, and then things will get better soon. He was wrong. Yeah, it was coming from my head, indeed, but not from my emotional well-being. Yeah, this man. Anyways, on Friday, still no improvement. On Saturday, I went to the ER in the late afternoon, early evening, because, this is starting to be alarming, because when I sat in the ER, it was day 6 of me feeling hangovered without ever drinking and with my eyes doing very weird things. So, yeah, in the ER, waited a few hours, as usual. Then when I finally saw a neurologist, he looked at me for like just a few minutes. And then he said like, "Oh girl, this is horrible. You're gonna stay here. I don't know for how long, but it's gonna be a while." And I know nobody likes being in the hospital, but I was in the hospital only once before that time because of a surgery, and it was really, 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 really horrible. And that's why I was like, straight away, I was in the ER with my mom, and from the beginning, I told her, like, I'm not gonna stay here. I'm here to see a doctor because it's Saturday and I have no other way to see a doctor now, but I'm not gonna stay here. No matter what happens, I'm not gonna stay in the hospital. I mean, I did in the end, because as the doctor said, he thinks I'm here because I wanted help, to receive help. And this is a problem that should be treated, absolutely. And I mean, in the end, I ended up in the department of neurology, which is scary. But as I said, on already like Tuesday, I started to think like, oh, this is a severe problem. It actually can only be in my brain. Then ending up in that specific clinic was like, damn, girl, once again you were worried. This, even the doctor thinks this is a problem with your brain. So that's actually where the truly scary part of the story starts, because thinking yourself like, oh my god, this problem, I feel like this has to come from the brain. It's almost like exciting. But then being in the hospital, because the doctor looks at you and says, I'm pretty sure it's your brain that causes these problems, then you start to realize what this actually means. And it's nothing good. And I actually think I will end this video here. Because as I said, this is where the story started to be like really, started to get really scary. And I actually just don't feel like talking about that right now. But I absolutely will. But this was like enough for me now. Also, I'm pretty sure this video is already quite long. I can't see it here, but I'm sure it is. And yeah, so I think it's enough for today. I mean, you got the first symptoms, even though at that point I didn't know yet what this truly meant for me. But yeah, that's what I had to realize in this whole week I was at the hospital. But as I said, that's a story for part 2 of this video, which I will absolutely film and upload. But yeah, I think that's enough for today. And if you're here because you also got MS, I would actually love to hear about your story of your first MS episode, and especially also before you went to the hospital, because at least in my case, like from the start, the doctors and nurses were saying MS, like it's not MS, but it truly sounds like MS. So from the start, when I was in the hospital, I was already like, oh my gosh. So I'm pretty sure it's similar for most other MS patients too. So yeah, tell me about your story before you went to the hospital, where everyone was just saying, oh, MS. And yeah, how was it? What was it like for you before you went to see a doctor? I'd love to hear about that. And yeah, I'm gone for now. But as I said, there will be a part 2 that I will upload very soon. Bye.